Hello students, today we are going to discuss about the factor market, that is the third module of business communication for the BCom second semester. In this factor market we are going to study about what is the meaning of the factor market and what is the distance between the product market and the factor market, marginal productivity theory of distribution, then wages, in that wages the real wage, nominal wage, wage differentials, minimum wages, and the wage structure in industry. These all things we are going to study in this particular module. So first upon we'll discuss about what do you mean by the factors. Okay. In general, if we start discussing, that is a factor is nothing but to produce one particular product or the commodity, we require the various factors. Okay, in generally we are saying that the various factors like maybe the goods or raw materials, or maybe the labor, or maybe the capital, entrepreneurship, or land. So various factors is required to produce one particular product. So what do you mean by this particular factor market? Okay, that we are going to study here. So apart from that, we are going to study about the product market also. So in this product market, what do you mean by that product? To produce one particular product, so what all the factors is required? Because we are just discussing about the only the product, that is the final goods. But before final goods, what all the effort is required to manufacture one particular product? What is the exchange of the raw material to the finished goods? That is what we are going to study about here in the product market and the factor market. Okay, let's start with the factor market. That is definition. That is the resources that is must be used in the production process to produce goods and services. Resources are also called factor of production. So one product, if you want to manufacture, there are various resources required. That's what we have said. Maybe we normally said that is a uh, raw materials, but you know that raw materials, it includes everything, each and every component is required to manufacture the one particular product. So that's the reason we are saying that the resources are also called as a factor of production. The major factors are labor, capital, land, and the entrepreneurship. Okay, this we have studied in the previous semester also. That is production analysis, that is the land, labor, capital, and the organization. Similarly here we are just saying that that is the same, that's a factor of the production. Okay, then the first three factors listed are treated in the factor market, where equilibrium quantity of the factor and the factor price are determined. So here what we are saying, so equilibrium quantity of the factor and the factor price is determined based on the three factors listed. Okay, that is what we are saying, that is a labor, capital, and the entrepreneurship, because land is a fixed. So labor, capital, and the entrepreneurship will be changing here. So based on that, how much we are contributing to manufacture one particular product, based on that we are fixing the price for the product. Then the entrepreneurship factors creates firms and hires the other factors. The entrepreneurs factors creates firms and hires the other factors. Why? Because if he wanted to earn the more profit, then definitely he will hire the one more factors here. Maybe it may be land, or maybe it may be capital, or maybe it may be the labor. Okay, then most of the factors markets are competitive. That is, there are many buyers and the sellers will be there. So what we are saying here, so the factors market competitive. Okay, you know that there are various factors is required, that is a land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship. So each and everything is having the competitive in the market, because land is also having the competition in the market, and labor, you know that depends on the demand for the product, the labor demand is also increasing. So based on that, and the capital, we all know that okay, capital means investing in the company. Okay, that's a man-made machines, you can say. Capital is nothing but just only finance, it is maybe the machines also. Okay, then as well as the entrepreneurship. So this all depends on the factors markets are competitive, that is there are many buyers and the sellers will be there, so that's the reason there is a competition will be the high. Okay, then what do you mean by this product market? Okay, you know that product market, product means ultimately the final goods or the services, what we are saying here. Okay, I'll zoom it for you. Okay, so you can able to read it properly. The product market means it is used to exchange the final goods or the services. Yes, definitely. When it will say the product, once we are converting from the raw material to the finished goods, then only we are saying there is a final goods. Whether it's a goods or the services, the product means it is used to exchange the final goods or the services. Then, then we are talking. Okay, okay. Then we are talking about the demand for the product markets comes primarily from household. Yes, demand for the product market. Okay, demand for the product market. Okay, demand for the product market comes from the primarily from the households. Hope you have remembered that is a cash flow of income we have discussed in the beginning of the economics. That is how the cash will flow. That is from the household or maybe that is a firm. So household means we all are, and the firm is the company. So if we are working for the company, then only we are getting the salary. Okay. So we are getting the salary once we work. So without the household, the factory doesn't work here. So demand for the product market comes primarily from the household. Okay. Demand for the product comes from the household only. Okay. Then we're talking about second one, the main sellers of the goods are different kinds of the firm. You know that the main sellers of the goods are different kinds of the firm. Maybe the different companies will be there for selling the same goods, we can say. Okay, for example, car manufacturer, maybe there's an Volkswagen is there, Maruti is there, Hyundai is there, Mercedes is there, BMW is there. Different kind of the cars they are manufacturing, but the different firms will be there. But car is a car. The main purpose of usage is a car, that is a four-wheeler, right? So that is the main sellers of the goods are different kinds of the firms. Then demand for the goods is direct demand. The good is brought for its indirect use. You know that we are directly demanding for the product. We are not demanding for the labors, we are not demanding for the capital, we are not demanding for the land or the entrepreneurship. We are directly demanding. You know that, hope you have you know that there's a direct demand and the derived demand. Direct demand is where we are directly demanding for the house, but derived demand is that the indirect demand is there. If you wanted a house, you know that without the human resource, without the what you can say, the labors or the raw materials, we are unable to build the house. So that is what we are saying, there is an indirect demand for the labors, but we are just finally we are saying there is a demand for the goods because we are talking about the product, right? So the market's demand for the goods is direct demand. The good is brought for its instructive use. Okay, this is how we are talking about. Then the next point, that is the market facilitates that the exchange of goods and the services in the economy. So market is facilitating the exchange of goods and services in the economy. Maybe we are exchanging of the this is we are talking about the product. So we have said that the product may be the goods or the services also. Because the goods, you know the difference between the goods and the services. Goods is nothing but a tangible and the services is nothing but the intangible. So that's the reason we are talking about the market facilitates the exchange of goods and the services in the economy. Then we are talking about the next point, that is it is based on the voluntary transactions across the wide range of the places. So you know that it's based on the voluntary transaction across a wide range of the places. So it's all depends on the customers what they want exactly, whether they wanted the luxury product, whether they wanted the low range product. It's all depends on the voluntary. The customers are deciding what kind of product they wanted. That is how the demand is based on the product and as well as the customers. Then we are talking about that's a supermarket selling a range of the goods in a convenient places. Okay, so supermarkets are selling the various types of the goods. You know that if you go to the supermarket, you will get the various kind of the product. Okay, maybe it's a sanitary product, maybe it's a grocery product, or maybe it's a cosmetic products. Whatever the types of the products is there, they are selling in a various way, that is in a convenient places. That is how the customers are demanding for the product. Then we have taken an example of Amazon or the eBay where we are doing the e-shopping, we can say. So it's all based on the customer. They are not selling us. Okay, they are not pulling towards their product to the customers, but we only attracting towards the product, and we are jumping into their product and buying the products. This is what we are talking about, the Amazon.com, offering the direct sale of the goods and the marketplaces for the intermediates. Then eBay offering individuals the opportunity to sell the goods. So this is how the what you mean say the product market, that is nothing but whatever the final goods will be there or the services will be there, that is offering to the customers. That is what you mean by the product market. And you know that that's what we are saying. I'm just repeating, just because of the product. Okay, you know that there are various factor markets is involved into the product market. Okay, then as I have said, that's a factor market. Okay, let's see what you mean by the factor market is there. Okay, you know that factor market, that's the markets used to exchange the services of the factors of the production, that is labor, capital, and the entrepreneurship, etc. That's what we have said in the beginning also. Factor market is nothing but converting the all the factors like labor, capital, entrepreneurship, raw materials. Okay, everything is required. That's what I have said. See, you know that one particular pen. Okay, if I want to manufacture one particular pen, okay, that is you know that one particular pen to manufacture we required the labor. Normally we say that is a land labor capital organization. Land labor capital and organization or the entrepreneurship ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು. Okay, in general, we are saying this, but you know that land is a fixed land, and that is also we are saying that's a gunta, acre, or a square feet, and all. In labor, also we are saying there is a what you can say the skilled labor, okay, unskilled labor, okay, and we are saying unskilled labor, skilled labor, and semi-skilled labor. So similarly, capital also. Okay, there are various things is required. The factors what we are talking about. Okay, various factors is required to manufacture one particular product. Maybe it is required the electricity to manufacture one particular pen. We require the electricity. We require the plastic. We require the spring. We require the what you can say refill. Okay, so everything is required to manufacture one particular product. That is what we are saying, everything is required. Whatever that required source, that we can say that is a factor market here. So market is used to exchange the services of the factors of the production, that is labor, capital, and the entrepreneurship, etc. Okay, then second point, that is the factor markets also includes the resources markets, that is the exchange of the service of the factors, that is the resources. As I said, all those resources is required here. Then demand for the labor and the capital is derived demand. Hope you know derived demand is nothing but the indirect demand, we can say. Okay, demand for the labor and the capital is derived demand. Firms need to employ more workers when there is a greater demand for the product that they make. Okay, so if I got the more order, there is a huge demand for maybe mask, you can say. Okay, if there is a huge demand for the mask or the sanitizer in this particular corona period, okay, then definitely we need to manufacture more product. If I want to manufacture more product, then definitely we require these two factors. That is labor or the capital, right? So labor is also required more to manufacture, and simultaneously we require the more finance also, that is a capital. But ultimately we are saying that is we require the sanitizer or maybe the mask. There is a huge demand. I wanted within a month, maybe crores together we require the product. But to manufacture crores together the product, then definitely we require the labor and the capital. That is what the derived demand, that is the indirect demand is there, because the society is or maybe social is, they are demanding for the product, but firms need to take care whether, that's what we have said here. Hope you can see here, firms need to employ more workers when there's a great demand for the product that they make. So definitely this factor market, that is the indirect demand will be there. Then if demand for the takeaway, okay, I'll just okay. So demand for if you want to, if you talk about this, if demand for the takeaway coffee rises, then Starbucks will need to employ more coffee workers, that is barista. Okay, so I'm just taking one example here. Maybe you can say barista or maybe coffee cafe day. Okay, so here if there is a more the demand for the takeaway coffee rises. Okay, definitely there is a demand for the coffee. Then definitely we need to improve the employee for the more coffee workers. Okay, because you know that in North Karnataka we are addicted with the tea, but we don't know how to make the coffee. You know that in a tea different kind of tea we can make, that is ginger tea or lemon tea or green tea or whatever it may be. But if you go for the coffee, there are various types of the coffees are there, and the various attractive way how to make the coffee is also required, because ultimately customer is attracting whatever they can see. जो दिखता है वो बिकता है, we used to say that. Okay, to attract them, okay, there are various designs used to come in the coffee, you know that. Okay, so that's the reason there we require the more coffee makers will be required for that. That is how we have taken the examples in the factor market. So ultimately what I'm saying here, there's a derived demand factor market here, that what all the factors are there, whether it's a labor, capital, organization, or maybe land. So it is a indirect demand will be there. Okay, for the product there is a direct demand, but the factors is a indirect demand will be there. So if there is an increase, okay, if we talk about this point, that's a, if there is an increase in demand for the private dental treatment, there will be an increase in the demand for the dentist, and this will push up the price of the dental treatment and also the wage of the dentist. Definitely, see, you know that, hope you remember, that is a law of demand. Whenever the demand is more, okay, whenever the price is more, the demand will be less. Okay, whenever the price, sorry, okay, whenever the price is more, the demand will be less. Okay, when price is less, demand will be more. This is how the law of demand we used to say here. But here, what we are saying, we are talking about in terms of supply. Okay, you know that supply, when the demand is more, the price is also go up. Okay, so when demand is less, then the price is also less. This is how we are talking about here. So here in this point, there's a, if there is an increase in the demand for the private dental treatment, okay, if there's a increase in demand, because you know that nowadays kids are eating the chocolates, okay, even mid-age students or mid-age people is also having a lot of habits. So that's the reason, because of habits, there's a dental problems will be there. So if there is an increase in the demand for the private dental treatment, there will be an increase in the demand for the dentist, and this will push up the price of dental treatment and also the wage of the dentist. Yes, if there is a more demand, then definitely they are increasing the prices here. This is a demand and this is a price. Okay, if there is a more demand, then definitely there is a demand for the price will be there. If there is a less demand, then definitely the price will also reduce. Okay, so this is how the what I'm saying, ultimately based on the demand, okay, the factors demand will depends on the demand for the product. Okay, factors of the demand will be depends on the factors of the product. So this is what you mean by the factor market. So I'll just repeat once again: the demand and the factor, sorry, product and the factor, product market and the factor market. Product directly we are demanding, but the factors we are indirectly demanding for the various things. Okay, then what are the features of the factor markets are? So here the features of the factor markets are, it refers to the arrangement for buying and the selling of the factor of the production. It refers to the arrangement of the buying and selling of the factors of the production. So the factors is depends on the final goods. Okay, if there is a more demand, then definitely we require the more factors. If there is a less demand, then definitely we require the less factors. Factors, it may be land, labor, capital, and the organization. Then if you talk about the second point, that is That is, the examples of the factor markets are labor market we have taken here. Okay, labor market, you know that labor, why we have taken the labor market, this is a fluctuation, because if you talk about the land, okay, and labor, okay, and capital and organization. So you know that land is fixed, capital we can able to control, organization means is nothing but entrepreneurship. But the more uncontrollable factor is that the labor, because it is completely dependent on the outside people. So here what we are talking about, so this is the examples of factor market are labor market. Why we have taken the labor market only? Because you know that sorry, we know that that is the labor market, because based on the demand for the product, okay, our factors are uh, varying. Okay, so here the examples of factor markets of the labor market, that is nothing but, see, if there is a huge demand for the factors like labors, okay, then definitely we need to go for that. For example, you know that that's what I have said, there's a land, labor, capital, organization. Okay, so why this labor is changing, because it is all, you know that we used to say that we have an abundant of labor in India. You know that there's a population of 132 crores of the population is there. That means we have an enough labor facility is there, but the thing is we are not using properly, because they are not ready to work, or maybe they are not educated, or they are not maybe literate. Okay, so that's various reasons are there, so that's the reason we are not using them. But you know that there is a very few laborers are there, okay, who are educated or who know that particular process. But you know that there's a huge demand is there whenever the market demand rises. Okay, then the third point what we are talking about, they have derived demand in the factor market. As I said, there's a derived demand is nothing but a indirect demand. Okay, so derived demand is nothing but the indirect demand. So here, uh, then the price of the factors is determined by the interaction of the demand and supply of the factor market. So you know that price for the product is depends on demand for the supply as well as the factor market. You know that normally we used to say that whether whatever the manufacturing goods, whatever the uses of the goods, okay, the price is depends on the various demand of the supply and as well as the factors market. For example, I'll just tell you, you know that nowadays mango season is there. Okay, there's a huge supply is there, demand and supply. Okay, there's the interaction of the demand and supply, okay, of the factor market. So if there's a mango is a huge demand, then definitely if the demand is there, then the suppliers will increase the price, because he wants to earn the more profit here. So normally you know that when we are going to sell our product, see, buying is different and selling is different. Buying, whenever the price increases, we buy the less product. Okay, this is a demand and this is a price. Okay, if buyers is there, then if the more demand is there, then definitely the price will be less. For example, you know that if the price is 1 rupees, then definitely 10 rupees, definitely we are going to buy a 100 products. Okay, if the product price is 100, then definitely we are going to buy a 10 product. This is how we are talking about the demand. Okay, then if you talk about the supply, you know that normally if there's a high price is there, then definitely we supply the more product. If there is a less supply will be there, okay, less price is there, then definitely we supply the less products will be there. So this is what I'm talking about, the interaction between the demand and the supply. Now if you talk about the factor market, okay, that is how the interaction is there in the factor market. Not only the price, okay, as a supplier, okay, not only the price, we are just analyzing what is the production cost is also there. If the production cost is 100 rupees, okay, then definitely we need to fix the price for maybe it's more than 120, because the production price is 100 rupees. Apart from that factor cost or the advertisement, everything it includes 100 plus 20, that is equal to 120. Then definitely we need to sell the product at 120 rupees. See, this 100 rupees, it includes the factors here, it includes the labor. Okay, if the labor price is increased, then definitely the production cost will go for 120 here only for the production cost, plus again 20 rupees for the overheads, so it will go for the 140 rupees. So what I'm saying ultimately, so this the production cost is includes the factor market here. So factor market, that's a maybe the labors and all. So based on that we are fixing the prices here. So this is what about the factor market we are talking about. So base, that is what ultimately we are saying. See, that ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ ನಾವು ಉತ್ಪಾದನೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಲೇಬರ್ಸ್ ಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಮಷಿನ್ಸ್ ಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ, ಎಲ್ಲನೂ ಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ಮಷಿನ್ಸ್ ನಾವು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಬಟ್ ಏನದ ಲೇಬರ್ಸ್ ಹೆಂಗದ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ಸೇ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬರ ಮೇಲೆ ಅವಲಂಬನೆ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ಆ ಒಂದು ನಾವು ಲೇಬರ್ಸ್ನ ತೊಗೊಂಡು ನಾವು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಲೇಬರ್ ಪ್ರೈಸ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಯ್ತಪ್ಪ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮದು ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಯ್ತಪ್ಪ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಟಿಮೇಟ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಅದೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ನಾವು ಹೈ ರೇಟಿಗೆ ಸೆಲ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ. ಅದು ಡಿಮಾಂಡ್ ಐತೋ ಇಲ್ಲೋ, ಕಸ್ಟಮರ್ಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೋ ಇಲ್ಲೋ, ಅದು ನಾವು ವಿಚಾರ ಮಾಡಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ, ರೈಟ್. ಸೊ ಹೀಗಾಗಿ ಏನದಲ್ಲ, ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಆನ್ ಆಲ್ ಯುವರ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ವಾಲ್ವ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ product. So this is what we are talking about. Then okay, so here we are going to wind up, because almost it's a 25 minutes video. Then in the next video I'll show you what is a distribution of income and what is the difference between the factory market and the product market, then marginal productivity theory. Okay, so thank you, thanks a lot.